Okay, guys, we have Katie Morton here. You know her from Colton season of The Bachelor. You also know her from Bachelor in Paradise. Katie, thank you for coming on She's All Batch.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, guys.
We are pumped to talk with you because you're like one of my favorite people from the show. So you were on Colton season, as I said, but Blake was supposed to be the Bachelor that season. Jason was supposed to be the Bachelor. Who did you want the Bachelor to be that season?
In the moment when they asked me, I said Jason.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason just gave good just vibes, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
When did you find out it was Colton then?
I found out it was Colton. They called me about 5 days before when they were asking me to come on, and they said, "It's going to be Colton. Are you still okay with this? And do you want to come on?" And I was like, yeah. I mean, I didn't even, how am I to know who I'm going to like either way? I think
Right.
I said in my interview in the beginning, I was like, I guess if I had to pick, I'll pick Jason, but I'll give anyone a chance because ultimately I don't know any of them.
Yeah. Did you, I'm just thinking this right now, but did you do something funny out of the limo? Did you say something about like, were you V card or what did
I
you
It
do?
was really not that funny in my opinion, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was kind of cute looking back on it, but a little crass. I said I did a magic trick. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a card disappear. Pretty much all the cards on them said had a V.
Nice.
Production changed them. And then I gave the card to Colton and then I asked him for it back. And then I was like, oops, I took your V card. But honestly, kind of slaps. But it wasn't my full idea. I honestly wanted so badly just to get out of the limo and say hi and just let my personality speak for itself later.
Mhm.
Nah, not good enough. And I was like, don't make me be that person.
So that they told you what to do out of the limo?
No, I mean, they made me come up with like a slew of ideas. And then I was like, how about, can we bring puppies? Like, how about, I had a bunch of ideas and that a lot of them got knocked down. And then I came up with the magic trick idea. I was like, this is literally the last thing I'm willing to do. That's like
Mhm.
cheesy, but still kind of me if we're going to go with my dad joke side. So I did that and no regrets. But yeah, that wasn't my first idea. My first idea was just get out of the limo and say hi.
Oh, right. I feel like most people want to do that. So they said no to puppies?
Yeah, there has to be a special handler that, so they ask you about like a day or two before, and they asked, I don't know if they actually asked, but there has to be, there does have to be a special handler when animals are involved on set.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I thought the magic trick was good. Demi said, I haven't dated a virgin since I was 12.
They didn't, I don't think they told her to, or I think she did that on her own.
Nice. Okay.
But I think the thing was, I think she said it like a little incorrect or something.
Okay. Because I
I,
would think most virgins are 12. I mean, most
right,
12-year-olds are virgins. I
right,
mean,
right. I think that that's where it got messed up. I don't remember which part's the truth of it, but yeah, I
yeah, yeah,
don't,
yeah.
yeah.
So one of your big moments on Colton season was you were the original to warn Colton about Cassie and Kaitlyn, weren't you?
Yeah, I was the original to warn him about the girls there.
Oh, right. You did. You never specified. And then at the women tell all, I think they asked you who it was, and it was said it was them, right? It was
Warned
them.
them. Yeah, it was just, here's what I was saying to Colton. I said specifically, like, you're telling everyone, the world, the cameras, the producers, us, what you want, and you keep keeping people that don't quite like fit with that, or like you're just like, I don't know, it just felt, something felt off. I was like, what you say you want and what you are actually wanting is not matching up.
Mhm.
And that's okay if you just, if it just needs to match.
Right. And you wanted to just bring that to his attention. So what was Cassie and Kaitlyn doing that made you feel that way? Like, do you think they just wanted to be the Bachelorette? Like,
I think that in hindsight, they were just talking and like, it was probably like, oh, if you don't end up with him, then maybe, we'll be the Bachelorette, like probably trying to make themselves feel better about the like what could happen, like maybe just talking through circumstances. But yeah, in the moment it was frustrating, but now I'm like close with them. So
Okay.
it's not like a thing.
Yeah.
But in the moment it was just like, this isn't the time or place, ladies.
Right. You're not really supposed, I mean, and it's like a natural thought that I'm sure everyone would have, but you're not supposed to be acknowledging it.
Yes, yeah, it was one of those. And then it wasn't a big deal. The only time I even thought it was a big deal was when it was denied, because then I looked like I was maybe making it up. And I was like,
Right.
that would be, now I'm mad. Like I wasn't even mad before. I was just like, I'm not gonna lie about something so silly.
Right. So you said that you're friends with Cassie and Kaitlyn now. Are Cassie and Kaitlyn still friends? Because they were like besties and then they haven't been seen together in forever.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that the other day. Yeah, I think they're still friends, but just not close, because Kaitlyn moved to Vegas
Mm-hmm.
in Orange County, and they were like roommates in West Hollywood before. I'm pretty sure they were roommates. Yes.
Yeah.
They were roommates in West Hollywood before, and I think Cassie just moved in with her sister. It was just natural separation. Kaitlyn
Right.
got a boyfriend, like she was with Dean. Cassie was with
Right.
Colton. Cassie left, and there was just their own, they just lived their lives.
You know what's funny? Speaking of Dean, I remember the moment in the Women Tell All when you were kind of going back and forth with Kaitlyn and you're like, you may not be what Colton wants, like clubbing, sliding into Dean's DMs. And Kaitlyn was like totally acting like that wasn't the case. And I'm like, fast forward all these years and she's like practically married to Dean. So clearly was Kaitlyn sliding into Dean's DMs at that time? And how did you know that?
I just knew they had some connection, and they had like met up before and like DM'd or whatever before.
Okay.
For however long of time. I have no idea how much, but I know they had some type of special connection, which is good, because now you see they obviously do have a special connection. But at the time, it was just annoying because I was like, just say the truth. Also, I probably shouldn't have said that. I was just really heated in the moment.
Well,
But
yeah, you were pissed.
I was just heated because I was like, don't make me look like a liar, and then just went off. But
Yeah.
not the emotionally intelligent thing of me to do. However, look at them now.
Right.
Couldn't have been too wrong.
Right, exactly. No, you were correct. And I know at that time we had Blake Horseman on the podcast, and we know that at that point in time, she had already like kind of dated him. So then when she was on the Women Tell All crying about Colton,
it was all just bizarre.
Yeah, it wasn't adding up.
It didn't add up. It didn't add up.
So then you moved on after Colton season and the drama with Kaitlyn, and you moved on to Paradise. How did they approach you to go to Paradise? And was Chris someone that you had your eye on prior to going?
They asked me to go to Paradise, and I wasn't gonna go. And then Hannah G was like, let's just go. We could end up in cool relationships. And I was like, fine, I'll go. I'm going to go to have a good time with my friends and maybe be cute boys, I guess. Like, I wasn't that into it, to be honest with you. And she goes, oh, just come on, just give it a chance. I'm like, okay, fine. Chris was not a person on my radar. I actually didn't even know who he was when he got down there. Legitimately, I said, do you work here? And then he was like,
you thought Chris Bukowski was the help?
No, I thought he was maybe a producer.
Oh, okay.
I was like, do you work here or something? And then he's like, funny. No. And I was like, well, who are you? And then I got explanation a little bit, but the help.
Help. Yeah.
I did think he was a producer of sorts. And I was like, I'd never seen you before. And so, yeah, but I did ask them for a silver fox. I just got a different silver fox than I was thinking. I think in the moment, I wanted like a Peter Krause situation. And that's what was like in my, or like an Alex Gordy going down there. But yeah.
So when I said, how do they approach you though? When do they call? Do they call while the season's airing? Do they have to, give you a big monetary incentive? Like, how did that all go down?
It wasn't before the after the final rose situation. I didn't know anything about Paradise before that.
Because people call the women tell all and the men tell all like Paradise auditions.
Yeah, I found out about that after.
Well, you did a great job.
Yeah, man. I guess if we're looking at it that way, I was really just making a point.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I guess I did Paradise auditions. They called me not long after that and they were like, I think my producer, Shabby, would just put little seeds in and she would say, oh, come on, think about Paradise. And to be honest, I didn't want to do it from the get-go. And then I was just scared. And I started like dating, but in between my season and Paradise, not just like dating in general. And I was just thinking, I don't know if I want to get myself into that, you know? But then I did it and I learned a lot. Yeah, I don't think it's any particular timeline. And I also think that everyone's timeline is very different. They asked me almost right away after the final rose, and they just kept kind of asking me until I gave in. And some people, they just asked like the week before.
We've talked a lot about money and how much they pay. Are you willing to talk about what they paid you?
Yeah, they paid me 10K.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know that's different than some people? It's so funny. Every person I ask, it's different.
I'm allowed to say that. I think it's been many years since my
No,
contract.
you could say it. You could say anything.
I'm like, I think
Well, I mean, it's literally we talk about it all the time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that different than some people?
Yeah. So 10K, I was not expecting you to say that. So Blake, like I said, we spoke to him actually a couple of months ago now, and he got $800 a day, but he said that was on the higher side. From what I'm gathering, $400 a day is more normal. But he did say Colton. So you got a flat fee of 10K?
Hold on, let me see.
You can look receipts.
10K.
Well, Colton got a flat rate of 10K, like regardless of how many days he was there.
Blake got so much more money than me, that little mother pucker.
Yeah, but if Blake only lasted a day, which wouldn't have happened, but had he only lasted a day, he would have only gotten $800 where you would have gotten 10K.
But instead he made more than me.
Well, what is $800 times the amount of days he was there? I don't know how many days he was there.
He was probably there at least 20 days, and it's 6. He was there first. I was there third. He was there the first day. I was there the first day as well.
So
and
20
till about the end, it's 16,000.
16,000. Okay.
Dang, Blake.
Dang,
Blake, hot commodity. And I was down third. I should have negotiated.
I mean, I think 10K is a lot. And he said that Colton, like they really wanted Colton, and Colton negotiated 10K. So I feel like you did well.
I nearly negotiated because I was in sales at the time. And I was like, how much is this worth to me? Here's the thing. 10K, it seems like a lot, right? But in the moment, and because I'm in sales and because I am analytical, I was like, I'm about to give up my sales job. I'm about to not work. I'm about to make 10K this month, right? But then the next months until October, until after the season ends, you can't even do brand deals. So you can't do brand deals till the season ends. So that means if you don't get a job right after Paradise and you just try to ride it out, you spend almost 5 to 6 months unemployed. So is 10K really a lot?
No. And wait, what do you mean you can't do brand deals? People do brand deals all the time.
People do brand deals now because they'll write it into their contract because of how popular influencing has gotten, and they'll be like, we have to do brand deals or whatever. But at the time, it was like, I think the only person that was able to do some brand deals was Hannah G, and they gave her a hard time because she was an influencer as her career, like
before
Bachelor. So
yeah,
it was med sales as my career. I couldn't technically like profit off of the show.
So it literally said in your contract, you cannot do brand deals while the show is airing.
Yeah, I couldn't do, I could start doing brand deals after the show ended.
Why do they hate for people to make money outside of the show so much? I've heard this so many times from people.
I don't know, but like when you really think about it that way, it's like 10K, like how's that going to get you through 6 months?
Yeah.
If you're living in Los Angeles.
Right. Or I mean, honestly, nowadays, anywhere.
Honestly, nowadays, anywhere. Yeah, anywhere. So it's like, I was like, okay, 10K, and then potentially fully unemployed for the next 6 months.
So is that what happened? So like you left, because you were there the entire duration of the show. You had got 10K, and that's before taxes, right?
Right. That's before California taxes. And then, so California just like, so actually I got 0. No, I'm just kidding. But, so yeah. And then I got that. And I'm really, really thankful and grateful for the entire situation because in all honesty, it was the catalyst. However, it's like you could say my position, I try and think of everything from a neutral position. And in my position now, I'm so thankful because I do make the majority of my money on brand deals. And that's because I did come out with like a larger following. But for people who gave up their jobs and didn't get the following, but maybe stayed 20 days or however many days, I think there were some people like that didn't get a following or whatever that stayed for a really long time or quit their jobs. And it's like now they have to go find a new job right away and hope they can find a new job within the next 2 to 3 months or wait to post brand. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, 10K was great. That's what I got paid.
Okay. This stuff is so interesting to me, and our listeners are really invested in how much people can make from the show because that's one stream of income, but like then you have all these other
then you have a lot of opportunities that can follow. Yeah, and it all depends, and it depends on like the following that you get.
Yeah.
Like,
and nowadays people aren't getting the followings that I don't know what the fuck is up with Instagram, and I run an Instagram account, but like literally people that are on the show
nowadays it's shocking.
It's crazy.
The lead won't even get 350,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I feel like at one point the lead just automatically got 1 million.
Yeah. So, I mean, you walked away with 10K before taxes.
Yes.
You also walked away with an engagement ring. Are you cool to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool to talk about it to a certain extent because I know that Chris is living his life and he is dating someone in Bachelor Nation, and I don't want to rain on their parade in any way, shape, or form.
100%. We've had Chris on the show and he's talked about it too. So, and he was very respectful and cool about you too. Great. So don't worry. So he told us when he was on the show that producers tried to get him to break up with you and then later tried to get you to break up with him. Can you tell us about that? Because this is like, I thought the show was supposed to be about love stories and it's not.
I think we like made this like not pact in any way, but like I think we had each other's, the one thing about us that was good is that we had each other's backs to a certain degree when it came to trying to protect each other from the show. But then I think it kind of backfired on us at the same time. And I remember that part of the show, I was like, what's happening here? And he was like, producers try to get me to break up with you. And I was like, do you want to break up? And he was like, no, but I think maybe deep down, yes. So then later after the final rose or whatever it was called, the recap, they put me in that trailer for like 6 hours trying to get me to break up with him. And there's so many reasons that could have been. It could have been for an arc of some sort. It could have been, looking back, I've thought maybe I just should have because that's how I really felt. But I just didn't want to do that to somebody. Is that the best decision for me? No, probably not. I probably, if I was really like selfishly thinking, I probably could have gone for a big bachelorette arc on that and like really taken it home. But that's not what I was thinking in the moment. And I was just like, I don't want to be the bad guy, even though I'm kind of suffering. I just want to like do this and then figure this out on my own.
So this is the reunion special. It's when you're sitting out on the couch talk, and then you come and talk to Chris Harrison, and then Chris comes out. You're not wearing your ring.
Yeah, gosh, they didn't give it to me.
I heard you talk about this, and I think the story is so fascinating because producers are such assholes. So they don't give you your ring. You're asking for it though, right?
Oh, I was like, where's my ring? I think they wanted so bad for me to break up with him. And you know what? To their defense, they were right. I should not have been in that relationship at all. I should have broken up with him before that moment. I should have already come out and been like, we are broken up. But like, we weren't. But we definitely should have had like a reality check talk before then. And they weren't wrong about where we stood in our relationship. Like they were on to something, but we were just so confused. And so they were like kind of retaliating and like, we're not going to give you the ring, probably to push me to be like,
right,
might as well break up. I don't even have the ring on.
Yeah. But could you say while the cameras are rolling, because I think it may
Like,
have been live, like, could you say like, because Chris Harrison says, Katie, I see you don't have your ring. Could you have said, I tried to get it, but your producer wouldn't give it to me?
I said they didn't give me the ring.
And it got edited out?
Yes. I said they didn't give me the ring. And then he was like, Katie, you're not the ring. And I was like, I would just like stare, and I had the biggest lump in my throat because I just felt like everything was about to be such a whirlwind of a weird lie, because like I knew right then, I was like, this is a setup. Like, if I can't say that they didn't give me the ring, now I'm immediately a bad guy. Chris is going to come out here and be like, what the hell?
And that happened.
And that happened. And then I was like trying, but his emotions were probably high. And I was like trying to say, like, they didn't get it right. But we're like up there live, and Chris Harrison's just talking. And
During the commercial break, you're like, I'm being set up.
no commercial break. They did not do commercial break at that point because they knew we would talk. There was going to be no commercial break. Are you kidding? There's not a commercial break going to happen to allow us to have a powwow conversation over here. So like, so I was like, all right. And then I was just choked up. And then, as you see, every time I feel high pressure in that way, I just choke up, and there's like a lump in my throat, and I actually cannot speak. It's the weirdest thing. But yeah, that happened.
Wow. That's so much crazier than, because I've heard you talk about this moment, but that's so much crazier knowing that you said it. So I didn't realize that you said it. They edited it out. So they control literally, like, they wanted you to break up with him. You didn't. They're not going to give you the ring. You say you didn't give me the ring. We're not fucking putting it in the show. Like, literally, you are powerless.
Powerless. And then I will say, once the ring was coming around the corner, because my girl did say, when you want the ring, say it. And Chris was like, Katie, do you want us to get engaged? And I was like, yes. And then she ran out and gave it to me. And I was like, why did we have to do this like this? And then it wasn't even mine.
They gave you the wrong ring?
I looked at Chris, I said, wrong ring. And then that was also edited out. And I had to take it back off and hand it to him under the table.
Whose ring did they give you?
No one's. I don't know whose it was.
Just a spare Neil Lane ring, just like floating around?
They're in the Neil Lane box. Just go grab the spare.
Oh my God. So how did you eventually get your ring back?
I think the next week sometime. It was super cash. I got it back, and I got it in a little Ziploc baggie.
And isn't this like a 30 grand ring? Like, isn't it super expensive?
Why do I hope it's more?
Okay. I mean,
hope it's more. Why did I think it was more? I don't know. Yeah, it's really pricey.
but to put it in a Ziploc bag and give you the wrong ring, they're just like so nonchalant.
Box or something. Something happened. Like, one of us had the box.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, I got it back the next week.
Okay. That's so funny.
So it was honestly so funny. We did laugh about it because it was close to mine, but it wasn't. I was like, to be honest, I'll do a trade.
Yeah, this one's kind of cool. I'll take this one too. I'll take both.
I kind of like the band on this one. Yeah.
So when he proposed, did you have any hesitations?
Yes, I had hesitations before. And then when he proposed, in that moment, I did not. Which I think is a accumulation of a lot of things. But in the moment, no. But leading up to it, I didn't think I would have said yes, to be honest. We both kind of had discussed how that wasn't something we were fully ready for yet.
Yeah.
And I thought we were on the same page, but then I was like, screw it. Okay, you know what? Like, sometimes you got to take a leap.
Right.
And then I was like, I want to go back on land.
Yeah, I'm not ready for this leap anymore. So you had said that like watching the show back was difficult because you were expecting to see more of a love story that you didn't see. So tell me about like when the show was airing. Did you talk to him about it? Because you guys were able to talk at that point.
Yeah, it was so hard to watch that back. It was so cringe, and it validated everything that I felt on the show and that I was feeling off the show. So at the same time that it was cringe, the only cringe part was like, this goes back to like caring way too much about what other people thought, but it was not even maybe about what other people thought as much as it was I knew I was not aligned with my head and my heart were not aligned. And it's really easy for that to happen out there with so many voices in your head. And there were times and when I would say like, I don't know, I don't feel like he just asked me to be his girlfriend. I was over there like binge eating guacamole because I was like, how did he just ask me to be his girlfriend? Like, I don't think he actually wants me to be his girlfriend. That seems a bit off. Like, and then I would have a producer right next to me being like, Katie, of course he wants you to be his girlfriend. He likes you so much. Like, it's really clear. I'm like, oh my God, is it clear? Meanwhile, still eating guacamole. I'm like, is it clear? I don't think it's clear. It's not clear to me. And then, but then eventually they're like, stop sabotaging yourself. You know, and I'm like, yeah, don't block your own blessings, Katie. And eventually you can kind of convince yourself, like, maybe it's me. It was weird because everyone in Paradise, not just the producers, other people too, were being like, he really likes you. Like, all he does is talk about how much he likes you. And I'm sure he liked me as a person, but he didn't like me like that. Not really. And I know that. Like, but you know who the two people I didn't have? I did not have Demi really, and I didn't have Hannah. And I think I got a little upset with them at one point, which was not on them. That was a me thing because I felt so on an island because
Literally.
I wanted a support system, and that was like kind of all I had. And
Why didn't you have them?
Hannah was just so in love and enthralled and like on a whirlwind that really like any of this kind of stuff would like bring it down. And like it just was not something that was really dealt with. Like I think it just ultimately kept making me feel bad to bring it up. And it was not, it wasn't like she was like, don't talk to me about it, but it was something like, it was always in passing because she was always on her way to Dylan, you know, like, and you can't blame her. She was just doing her own thing. I wasn't her concern at that point, but in the moment I was like, you told me to come here.
Yeah.
And then Demi was obviously having an entire situation go on with her girlfriend, Christian. I wanted to call her Kirsten for some reason. Christian, who's great, but both of them were having entire separate storylines play out.
Right.
And it was just like, help. And so the only people I had to go off of other than myself was, and you should really just go off of yourself. Like, to be honest, it was a huge lesson in like how you feel is really all that matters.
Preach, sister.
Yeah.
So you bring up Hannah. I know you're referring to Hannah G because that's who was on the beach. But so we actually had Demi. I told you when I reached out, we had Demi on just a few weeks ago. Love her on the podcast. And she made a comment that she hasn't spoken to Hannah B in quite some time. I know you were close with Hannah Brown. Where do you stand with her today?
I haven't spoken to Hannah Brown in 2 years.
Did you have a falling out?
She just didn't have time or didn't make time.
Okay.
I guess you could say one or the other. Yeah, she just didn't. I mean, she just did her own thing. I think that's really what it is. I think she was nice. Like, we all were much closer on the show, and then she became the Bachelorette and everything just changed.
Do you think it was from being the lead and the fame from it?
I think it was a mix of a lot of that. Yeah. I think there was a mix between just not having time for us, which is fine. Like, I have friends who are much more famous, and I mean, not to say that, like, not to drop that, but like, I say that because if you want to make time, you'll make time.
And you could be famous and have friends.
And you can be famous and have friends. But I think that I don't know what she was going through. I know she had gone through some things in between there. And so I think her circle got a lot smaller, and you really can't blame her because life is hard enough as it is. And so I feel like there's times in my life where I kind of make my circle smaller. Maybe I don't have time for people just on the outskirts of my circle. And that doesn't mean I don't think they're great people. It just means that it's exhausting to keep up with everybody. You simply can't.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, we were kind of newer friends in her life as a
Right.
20-something, 24-year-old. We just met her,
Mm-hmm. When you and Demi appeared on her first episode as the Bachelorette.
Yeah, we did. That was really fun.
Yeah, it was so cute.
It was so fun. I would love to do more on-set hosting things. That's when really I have always had an interest in that, but then I really had my interest sparked when I have been on set doing things like that before.
Would you want to do something like that with the franchise?
If they reached out to me to host, I wouldn't say no, even though I've had like quite a traumatic experience. Like they probably would never ask me.
Yeah.
If they did ask me, I would consider it.
Did they ever ask you to be the Bachelorette?
No.
Really?
Nope.
Okay.
They did not ask.
You should have broken up with Chris on camera.
I should have dumped that man.
Seriously.
Well, I should. Like I found James, but
yeah. So tell me about your life today. How did you find James? What do you have going on?
You know what? James found me actually. Here's how I met James. This is so serendipitous. The day I shot my Paradise intro with the crew, I was with Hannah G and we were going to go meet up with Heather. And we were walking to dinner from our hotel to dinner, which was like literally a span of 50 feet. And James skateboarded past me and then he ran back up and asked like to talk to me. So then that was the day I filmed for Paradise. And then I gave him my Instagram and then he said, "How was your day?" or something. And I was like, "Mine was good. How was yours?" And then he never talked to me and then we never talked again. And until so long, I think a year and a half or something, we didn't talk. So that was in 2019, had to have been May something 2019, because that was the day I filmed my intro right before we were like the week or two before we left for Paradise or week before. And then he didn't talk to me till he messaged me October or September 2020.
Well, then he watched you get engaged on TV though.
No idea.
So you date him and then you have to say like, "Hi, by the way, I was engaged on TV," and like break everything. You would assume he would know.
So I kind of assumed he knew. And then what happened? Because I think when I first met him, I had a following, it was big, but small.
Okay.
Smaller than I have now. So I think he probably looked at the number that I have now and assumed that I had just been like growing it.
Just by being Katie?
Just by showing up. I don't know. Like, what'd you think I was doing? Because I don't think it's fashion. Like,
yeah.
And, he was like, "I had no idea, to be honest. I thought you were just being yourself." I was like,
"Aw, that's nice."
Yeah, that's honestly so nice. Great. I love that. And so, yeah, he really had no idea. But then he went back and watched.
No.
I was like, please don't do that.
He like binged the whole season?
No, he watched clips from YouTube. I was like, if you just search Katie Morton Bachelor, like it's pretty much crying clips. Like, please don't do that.
You almost rather him watch the whole show at that point.
Truly. And for him and his roommate watched it. His roommate that was in London. I was like, please don't. Or they would, when I finally went and visited, they pulled it up right in front of me. They were like, "Let's watch this." I was like, "Let's not." And say we did. We don't need to watch my engagement. Yeah. I just started dating you. So it was bizarre, but they thought it was funny. I think.
So now how long have you been dating?
A year and a half.
And you're so happy.
Yeah, I'm so happy. We are really happy. We're trying to figure out the visa situation.
Okay.
But, other than that, so grateful. Like,
good.
That's the feeling that's the head and heart feeling you're supposed to feel.
And now you know. And you don't have a producer in your ear telling you the wrong things.
Yeah, exactly. Telling you like, "Oh, this guy likes you," when he might not, or whatever. Like, you just go with your gut. That's the ultimate.
Yeah. I mean, truly, when you know, you know. And
Yeah.
I think when you don't know, you know. You know when you don't know.
Exactly. You're like, I know that there's something up.
Mm-hmm.
When you think there's something up, you gotta go with it.
Yeah.
Just go with it, because that either means you don't trust the person or whatever, but just listen to yourself, really.
Totally.
Thinking.
So where can our listeners find you and go follow you? Any projects you have going on or socials or anything?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Katie Mo, but you spell it Katie Emo, so it's Katie with 2 E's. And then I'm also on TikTok in the same way. And right now, all I have going on is, well, I do a lot for work, to be honest. I do quite a few different things, but I'm doing 75 hard. Have you heard of that?
Is that some kind of workout thing?
It is some kind of workout challenge. It's like a mental challenge, and it's amazing. I actually kind of love it. I'm usually weird about those kinds of things. I'm like, oh, a challenge? No, can't pay me. But
What is it?
it's 2 workouts a day. But
Oof.
yeah, I know. But the thing is, one of them has to be outside, and it can include walking. So like a 45-minute walk can be a workout.
Oh, I do that.
Right. So I'm like, I kind of already do that. A gallon of water. So it's like, you should be doing that kind of. And then read 10 pages a day. And then the progress pick every day. I almost forget every day, but a progress pick every day. And then it's really not too terrible. And then, follow a diet, which I'm weird about the word diet. I just gave up dairy because I don't want to be too restrictive. I'm also on Beachbody. I guess I'm doing a lot. I'm filming for them as one of their fitness models / people on stage working out. I'm like, that also helps with my 2 workouts a day, because I do one every morning with them.
And it's your job. That's so cool.
Yeah. So every morning at like 7 a.m. I'm working out on stage, and that's been so fun. I'd love to keep doing that.
Oh, yay. And if you watch the first episode and you have commentary, hit me up. We can have you back on and we can chat.
Yeah, let's do it. I'd like
Cool.
to do more commentary stuff. I love that.
It's so fun. My co-host is on a work trip right now, but usually I have a co-host, Jackie. So you'll get to meet her.
Yeah, great. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Cool. Well, this has been so fun. This was really juicy, and thank you for being such an open book. I'm so happy that you've had like this crazy ride on the show, but it kind of all worked out in the end. And I'm so happy you're at peace now and with a guy that appreciates you.
Yes, thanks so much. Wow, great pod, great questions.
Ooh.
Now I go back to the pod and see all the other episodes to see what other juice you've gotten out of other people.
Oh my God, girl.
I thought your questions were great. So
well, thank you
for having me on.
I thought you were great. So I will be in touch, and maybe you can come back on sometime.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll actually message you probably after this.
Yes, please.
Okay, cool.
All right. Bye, Katie. Thank you.